to get my partner's arm on my far shoulder. That way I can hook and lift, get him onto the side where I can start to move around to north-south and step behind him with this leg, pivot and come in, and now we're in on the arm where I can sit back and extend and finish here, right? But how do I get the arm on my shoulder when he's framing me? The easiest way to do this is using just like a bicep tie and then pummeling your head. So I take this hand that's under his elbow, I pummel it in, and there's my bicep tie, just so my hand on his bicep, okay? And now I can flare my elbow out, okay? Or if I need a little bit added strength, I can connect my hands like this, and then flare my elbow out. From here, I pummel my head to the inside. Once my head's on the inside, I take my grip back down, and now I have the arm on my shoulder, okay? So pretty simple way of getting the arm on your shoulder. That way you're ready to go and apply the arm bar. Okay? If you're new to this, you can just start with the arm on your shoulder. Sometimes people make that mistake and you just catch the arm there. Okay? But if you want to work on how to get the arm there, just work on that bicep tie. Now I got the arm on my shoulder. Okay? From here, take my hand over, lift my partner up. And you see how I'm pinching my head on his arm, bringing this grip in as much as possible, because he's going to be trying to pull his elbow back to the floor. I need to be able to have this post here. You see how if I didn't have the post, how he's able to do it? So I post my hand and I pinch in. That way when he tries to bring the elbow back to the floor, it's difficult here, okay? Now I can start to come over to north-south. As I do, my hand comes in and I get this elbow here on his chest like that, and start to pressure in on his elbow, and I get good push-pull with that elbow position. Okay, now my hand post comes down. I'm kind of in a sprawling position here, my chest and the shoulder, okay? And I should be in north-south. I don't want to go too far to the back. I stay basically in north-south, my leg, one on either side of his head, okay? That way when I go to step behind him on my toes and pivot, I got one leg already over his head. I can sit now to the floor, passing my leg here. If he's framing, I want to get my leg inside if possible. And now at this point, this is where if I want to just go ahead and attack the arm from here, I can just leave my leg here and just extend, sliding down his arm. Once I get to the end, I switch to palm on palm and get to here, okay? But at this point, when I'm sitting up and I get this to this position, if I want, now I can lean and pass my other leg out, okay? From here, I cross my legs, okay? And I have both legs on his neck, right, in this case. Sometimes if his hand's coming up to defend, I may go and just cross under his shoulder, okay? But either way, I'm gonna cross. If his hand's just hanging out here, I'm just gonna go here, then I can sit back, extending the arm, bringing it against the inside hip flexor, and finishing that arm bar. Okay, so I gave that option to you, whether you want to keep the foot under your shoulder or go ahead and just go right away to extending the arm back, or if you want to lean to the side and pass the leg over the top to get both legs across the body. That's a choice you can make, you know, in the moment, whichever you prefer. Well, one's just going to take a little bit longer to set up, right? That's the only difference. You're going to have more control though if you take that time to pass the leg over the top. But there might be times where you just want to go ahead and apply the armbar quickly. That's when you just leave the foot there. It's a little bit faster of a movement, right? So again, I go here, one, pull the head, the arm on my shoulder, lift him up, hand post on the mat. If he tries to sit back hard, it should be difficult here, okay? And now see how my hand starts to go from just framing. I bring my palm like this, elbow inside. It's called like the magic elbow. Actually, one of my old training partners used to call it that, because you can kind of like just drive that elbow into their rib cage. It doesn't feel very good, okay? It's hard for them to put their shoulder back to the floor. Now I start to come around to north-south. As I do, I'm sprawling, bringing the foot in nice and tight to that patch on the ball of your toe, of your foot. Pivot, sit through, okay? Start to pass the leg through. If I want now, this is when I can go and just start to sit back and apply the arm bar. If I have good mechanics here and my legs are pulling in, my knee is tight, he may try to hitchhiker here, but like in that amount of time, I'm already popping the arm, and you know, it's gonna be pretty tough for him. Sometimes he may be able to explode out, like I said, because this one, you lose a little bit of the control when you have the foot here, okay? But it's a lot faster, and if I can get this arm extended here, there's a good chance he's still gonna tap before he has time to escape, right? But if I wanna take more time, now this is when I can lean to the side, pass the foot over, crossing, okay? And then you're just extending back. And now if he tries to hitchhiker out or any sort of escape like that, it's a lot harder because both of my legs are across the body and I can finish there, all right? So it's kind of like something you gotta decide, all right, guys? Anybody